Well, hello, and welcome to the Points of Interest. This is the most generic podcast on the internet. My name is Josh Hawks. I am the 303 Ninja, and right over there, he is my podcasting partner for life. He is the other guy. It's Mr. Francis Fernandez.
Happy Taco Tuesday.
It is Taco Tuesday. I had tacos last night, though. I fucked up the rotation.
Oh, you're breaking the rule.
Yeah, I fucked up the rotation. He gets shot in the wrong neighborhood for that, I think.
For eating tacos on a Monday? Yeah.
Possibly. I don't know.
Well, first off, it's May, which blows my mind that we're inching towards the middle of the year.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's just started. Like, I feel like we just started 2023 and we're almost at July. You know, we're like bouncing towards July. It's freaking me out, man.
And I mean, and it's still like chilly here. Like we've hit some hot days, and upwards of, 75, reaching tops of 80 or, 25 for you fucking worldly people. But like, yeah. And I got sunburned to shit this past weekend. So, I mean,
Right.
It is possible to have pretty warm days here, and then the next day have snow, which has happened.
That's what that's what makes Colorado so weird. Is that you guys have it's all over the place. But hey, it's all good.
I mean, it is, and it isn't, because here's the thing: is I hate winter. I love it here in Colorado. First off, so I don't want to get any fucking. Well, why don't you move someplace? Because fuck you, that's why. But
yeah, right.
But I hate snow. I hate the way it sounds when you walk on it. I hate winter clothing because when you stand on it, you step on it, it crunches, right? And then you wear winter clothing and it's all like nylon and stuff, so it goes when you walk and everything. I just but I can be outside. I don't have to worry about getting sunburnt. I mean, you can, but you don't have to worry about it as much in the winter because I'm not out there as much, but I can be outside for an hour and not get sunburnt on most winter days.
Right.
This past weekend, I go out for, outside for a little, maybe an hour and a half, something like that, 2 hours, working on a koi pond. Trying to be a friend.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's not mine. What do you think I live? No.
I don't know.
No, but my buddy, he's got a very large. He lives in an old neighborhood, in a city. That's an old neighborhood. I don't know how to say it. They got a huge backyard in this old, because that's the way it was, and it's got basically 2 levels to it. It's huge. So he took advantage of it and put in a waterfall that goes into a koi pond.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah. Well, the filtration system sucks. He was putting in a new one. And I said, let me be a friend and help. Not thinking about how warm it was, and got toasted. And to the point where I didn't even want to go outside the last couple of days. And it sucks. What sucks about it all is what I was getting to is that as much as I hate the winter, I could be outside. The summer months, I love.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like I want it to be like 115. That kind of. I love the heat, but I love the hot. Hot really doesn't bother me that much. Cold bothers me. Bothers the shit out of me. But I can't be out in it because all I do is I'm so Irish. I can get burnt on a full moon night.
I was gonna say though, what will you do then with your favorite sweatshirt that you like to wear like all the time?
Well, I had it with me. I should have put it on.
Should put it on. It's like it's the sweatshirt that you normally have on when you're recording the show or something. Like it's like your uniform. Right.
Well, because I try to have a tight ship. The window is shut, so we don't hear gunshots, like we did that one time, and I made a joke about it, and it turned out to be real gunshots.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, no. So I ordered me a big old jungle hat with a big neck flap. So that should take care of that.
Oh yeah, sure.
And like I found the highest SPF, sunblock I could find. And I'm not messing around. And I just
no.
It kind of like with the new car, you might as well try and take care of what you can as best you can.
The sun takes no prisoners. It'll attack.
That is for damn sure. Hey, I want to say thanks to Jeff Burns for coming on the show for the last 2 episodes, helping us out with a Pluto TV. We're into old shit too. TV brackets. And I
Hi, Ginger.
And Ginger's in the house. And I never, not that I never, I let him borrow my co-host weekly. You're talking about guilt before we started. There's my little guilt for you.
I'm just on loan to Super Geeked Up every once in a while.
It's funny because you were mentioning something about guilt trips before, and you're like, "Thank you, Josh, for never." And I'm smirking to myself as I'm writing this little bullet point down. But yes, thanks, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff, for coming on and bringing all your friends with you. Hopefully, they show up tonight too.
Yeah, getting us closer to 50. Look at that. We're almost at the 50. We need 5 more followers to get to the 50.
Let your friends know. Tell your friends. Even you know what? Even if they don't actually watch us, if they just open a tab when we start and let it play,
just follow us.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, we could, there's not a lot of news about the new podcast that's coming from Nerds That Geek. The update that I have to share with everybody. You ready for this, Francis? It's coming.
I hope so.
It's coming. That's it.
Oh,
nothing new. I've spoken to the people in power, and they're like, we want to make sure all of our ducks are in a row, all of our T's are dotted, and just make sure everything's set before we set you guys off on your path to success.
Wow, very corporate. Not a very corporate thing to say. Well, we're here to make sure that you have the appropriate tools at your disposal in order for you to ensure success in your future endeavors. But good.
Yeah.
That means you're going to have to keep up with pop culture now, Josh. You're going to have to keep up with all the cool pop culture stuff that's happening in the world.
A little bit more than I was before, right? It's something... I can't talk about that yet. But it's something I was... I'm steering around something I could tell you later.
All right.
I almost just blurted something out. But it's something I was thinking about, and I had to... kayfabe. I had to write out something this past weekend, and I was like, as I was writing, I was like, just kind of general, pop culture, follower. I try to keep up on everything, but no solid, like I'm into this one thing. And there was something I was going with that, and not go there at the same time.
Right. It had to do with pop culture. I know that much.
Well, I guess it was that. And it was just like, I guess I'm not really into any one thing. And that could be detrimental to this thing that I'm writing right now. Which, try not to forget. I want to tell you about that later. Everybody's like, what is it?
You're writing.
It doesn't matter. Right. Well, it's not for... I'll tell you later.
Yeah, you'll tell me later. Okay.
But for everybody else, it could be cool. And if it doesn't happen, it's cool too. And you'll never know about it.
Look, hey, it's an apropos time to do it anyway. Now that all the writers are on strike, you'll at least have an open door to go ahead and write whatever it is that you're writing.
Well, there you go.
No one's going to be in your way.
Look at you and the way to fucking find a way to get through the bullet points. Yeah, the writers, another writer strike has happened. It is not, Francis, it is not 2003. Right?
2008 was, no, was it 2000? No, was it 3? Maybe
no,
7.
No, it was 2006 or something. It's not
whenever
then.
Heroes season 2 came out.
Damn it, Francis.
It was whenever whenever Heroes like
2007.
fell. That's when
2007.
Yeah.
Damn it. That was a joke I was going to make.
Oh, were you really the Heroes?
Yep. Mrs. Petrulli. That's not what their name was.
Petrelli.
Petrelli. Yeah. One of the Petrellis is going to get shot by himself. Wait, no, by his evil version of his younger brother or something. Because they're like, we don't know what to do.
I don't remember.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's sad, is that I don't remember either. Which brings me to who's getting shot. Who's getting shot? So I was making a Heroes reference, the old Heroes TV show, where between Francis helped me out, between seasons 1 and 2, the writer strike happened, or 2 and 3.
It was 2 and 3.
2 and 3 between seasons 2 and 3. The writer strike happened, and this TV show Heroes was basically, to wrap it up in a nutshell, it was like X-Men, people finding out they were X-Men on TV week to week. Yes, save the cheerleaders, save the world. But the writer strike happened in between 2 and 3 back then in 2007. And what I was going to say is that TV's different now, Francis. So, like, what does this mean to TV today, when it's, it's all reality based now, which isn't to say
it isn't.
There's so much reality TV, dude. I mean, think about it.
All
them cooking shows, all them baking shows, all them show, the kitchen, all that shit. That's all reality stuff. That's all that's on TV anymore.
A lot of like scripted TV though.
There's
a lot of scripted.
There is, but there's a lot of game shows and a lot of fucking reality and crap like that. So, like, I don't know. It's just gonna be different this time around, I think.
Well, okay.
I'm just hot-shotting shit. So don't listen to me.
But this is what I know about the writer's strike. Well, this is what I learned. I learned a lot about the last writer's strike. Actually, I learned that Conan O'Brien during the writer's strike filled time by spinning his wedding ring on his table for like that monologue segment. Mm-hmm. Like that's all he did was see how long he could spin his wedding ring for during that segment. And he got like scientists and stuff to come in to help him get better at spinning his wedding ring on a table. Certain TV shows benefited from the writer's strike because they didn't get rid of certain characters, or they didn't kill. Like if you ever watched Breaking Bad, there's a very popular character by the name of Jesse Pinkman. He was supposed to be killed off in the first season, but due to the writer's strike, they kept him alive, and he became a beloved character for that entire show.
You remember when he was on Price is Right?
He was on Price is Right. That's right. I wish I was famous like him, so then you could finally find my footage of being on the Price is Right.
I try all the time.
Yeah,
I'm almost at the point, Francis, where I'm just gonna ask you when it was, and I'm gonna write into NBC, CBS, and just ask them for it and pay for a videotape, probably a videotape of the fucking show.
I was the last contestant, so you hear my name at the very end. I'm the last person to go up for the whole show, for the whole half hour. Anyway, and then Quantum of Solace was a result of the writer's strike back then, and Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen was the other result of the writer's strike.
Well, that explains a few things.
So the reason why I guess the big thing about the writer's strike is they're trying to turn writing into a gig job, because now with AI able to write stuff, they're like, anyone can do writing now. So we're not going to pay writers. We're just going to have like random people do it, and we'll pay the one time. You're not going to have a regular writing job. Just write, just have people write on occasion, right? And so I guess the big deal is that writers aren't, again, not getting treated well. They're the lowest paid people on the totem pole of successful TV shows, right? Some dude apparently won like an Academy Award or something, and like was in massive debt and had to rent a bow tie for the occasion that he won an Oscar, because he's a writer. He's not a producer. He's not an actor. He's not a director. He's just a writer, and he got jack for it. Like so, writing is. Here's the thing. I actually think I have a bad feeling about this. I don't know about you, man, but AI can write. Like AI can write stuff, man. Like, I mean, we can write things.
We've played around with the Chat GPT. And we messed around with it, and it got, it was a hell of a lot more accurate for you than it was for me. But that's not to say that in 6 months when we try it again, that it's not going to be better.
Yeah.
Or more accurate or whatever. And people people have been like, I've seen it. I made this learning computer watch every episode of Star Trek Next Generation and had it write an episode. And it just, went off, or I had it, I had this thing read thousands of fanfics of Naruto, or now it writes its own fanfic, and it's just like, that shit's scary.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm a writer. I have a book out. Like, it's scary because, I mean, it won't have the soul of her. Like, I guess there's something a little that can be said about a human writer, right? There's a little bit of soul in it. You can tell, like,
sure,
maybe not necessarily style, but you can tell something. I mean, we were talking about, I think we mentioned it last week, or maybe we didn't mention it on here, but like BuzzFeed went away. Not necessarily, I don't think BuzzFeed as a whole went away, but BuzzFeed News went away, right? Like, because they're like, oh yeah, we'll have AI write our articles. We don't need people to write our articles. We'll have AI write our articles. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, sure, I guess. Right? Like, I guess you could do that. But, yeah. So, I don't know what's going to happen with this writer strike, but I have a really bad feeling about it. Like, I think people are going to double down, even though I keep seeing that you can't copyright AI-generated stuff. But that's not the point. The point is that they can do it.
Right.
And there's going to be a workaround. There's going to be a loophole. There's going to be something where they're like, yeah, we'll just have a dude, some random writer, some dude who's not willing to make the big bucks, who's just like a newbie at writing. We'll just have him punch up whatever this AI wrote. And now we can own it because this human wrote this thing. And they're not going to have to be paid as much as these writers are in this, Writers Guild of America. We don't have to pay them as much. So, I don't know. It's scary.
It is.
It's just scary, man.
It is. And, I mean, hopefully for just fucking TV's sake, we, it gets over quick and they figure it out because people need jobs.
Yeah. I agree.
And then hopefully it doesn't, people don't come back and shoot their older brother from their evil goateed younger brother doesn't shoot their good older brother from a different timeline.
I like that's the only thing you remember about the writer's strike.
I didn't.
No, you didn't watch.
I didn't watch Lost. I didn't watch.
Okay, yeah.
What's Up, Chuck, or wasn't it just Chuck?
Oh, yeah.
Was it just Chuck?
Yeah.
I didn't watch. My Name is Earl. I didn't watch. What else was on that time? What was that FX show?
A lot.
What was that show on FX that was just about like plastic surgeons and fucking? What was that show called? Nip Tuck.
Oh, Nip Tuck.
Yeah, I didn't watch that. I didn't watch a lot of shit like that. I watched. You know what I watched a lot of that time? How It's Made.
Did you watch? No. Yeah. Oh, I mean, look. What's it called? Adam Savage's show. What was that again? Mythbusters.
Yeah.
Was probably pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of these shows that don't require writing. I think you're right. Like a lot. I mean, I was talking with somebody the other day about how they were starting to watch Love is Blind, which is that reality show about people who never see each other, but they build relationships just by talking to each other.
Like, wait,
that's
like,
the whole show.
Like through a wall or a curtain or something?
Yes. Yes, they're all in their own rooms or something like that, if I recall, and then they just talk to each other. And like 3 days into the thing, they're like, "We're in love. We're gonna get married," or like whatever silly stuff that happens on a reality TV show. But
just hang on. H.H. Golly says Nip Tuck went hard though. 4th grade me was living for it. I mean, yeah, I can understand. I especially 4th grade Vaughn. 4th grade. I can see 4th grade Vaughn maybe really digging Nip Tuck. You don't know Vaughn, but you know Vaughn for the podcast, and
sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, you were saying, I don't know. I was just going. I just wanted to make sure that got read. That's all.
No, I'm just saying that you're kind of right with the reality TV thing. I think you're right about the reality TV thing. That but TV now has to compete with podcasts, with live Twitch streams, with with Google, like YouTube, videos, right? Like stuff that writers aren't necessary for, and that people are making millions of dollars just. I'm in Las Vegas. This is how you can here are the best places to eat in Las Vegas. Right. And that's their video. I mean, and they're making money off of it.
You could go to Mario Brothers and help with the, what'd you say, $1 billion internationally that they've made. Or
despite the fact, yeah, go on.
No. Well, okay. No, go ahead. Or I'm not going to tell you where, but allegedly, if you looked on Twitter, it's not even alleged. If you looked on Twitter, I'm just not trying to be a proponent of it, Francis. I'm trying to make it, you shouldn't do it. But if you did, if you happened to search for it, you might find a Twitter account that has the entire Super Mario Brothers movie in 2 tweets.
Which, look, they did it. I like how people are calling this a gotcha for Twitter when this happens on YouTube all the time.
Oh yeah. Do you remember when I showed you? God. Remember when I showed you a fucking 30-minute pay-per-view wrestling match on YouTube? That shouldn't have been on YouTube, but it was there, and I'm like, here's the link to it. I mean, you shouldn't watch it, but if you did, we could talk about it.
Well, yeah, I mean we had to talk about it, so yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
But that's my point, right? But it didn't hurt. Look, the people who are watching it on Twitter probably already saw the movie, right? They probably already paid the money to watch the movie. It's just convenient to watch it again on Twitter that way. I don't know why everyone's making such a big deal out of it when, okay. Like it still made $1 billion. It's not like it stopped it from making money.
Right. And it does. It's stuff like that. And it's not like it's the first time a movie's been put out there. Like very commonly, I've seen full movies in a series of tweets where the first tweet, the caption is "fuck it, here's XXX," whatever. Maybe it would be triple X. I don't know. What?
Yeah. Well, Ginger's on top of it. She said it was taken down 7 hours later.
Okay. So. I mean, but for that 7 hours, one Twitter account put it up, and then it got shared by hundreds of other accounts, and yet the person, the OP, the original poster, didn't get axed. It was somebody else that was bragging about it or something. It's very odd.
I mean, that's how it happens, right? There was that one dude who leaked a bunch of classified information on Discord, of all places, and the guy got caught not because he because it was there forever. The guy got caught because somebody was bragging about it. Like, oh yeah, well I know this secret information because of this guy over here. So usually the guy who does the original, the shenanigans originally, they're just kind of collateral damage for the person who's trying to show off.
I had to one time protect kayfabe. I had a one time at this place. I was a person of leadership. We all went to break time, and this person just opened up their car door, and was just taking hits of weed out of a pipe with like not even getting into their car. Just opened the door and just was just hitting it right there in the front, front parking spots of the place. And I was walking by to pretty much go do the same thing, but be a little bit more just discreet about it. So when we got back to work, I just kind of leaned into this person. I was like, "Hey, man, like I don't give a shit what you're doing," because I was going to do the same thing, but I need some discretion. Not. Mm-hmm. He started to say, "Well, I don't really care." And I was like, "I know you don't, but the thing is that if you get caught doing it, you're gonna fuck it up for everybody. So, for me, out of the respect you have for me,
oh jeez, yeah, okay, yeah.
Can you please just be a little more discreet?" "Okay, man, I got you." I'm like, "Thank you."
People don't think of the consequences, right? They just want to kind of get, just want to get into the zone of whatever they're doing, right? I mean, that's kind of why we're in this mess, from again, whether it's the Mario Brothers movie being leaked, whether it's writers getting screwed, which apparently I just found out 11,000 writers are 11,000 people are on strike right now.
Wow, that's
a lot of people.
That is a lot of people. That is one hell of a picket line.
Yeah, and they shut down all of the shows, right? They shut down all of the late night shows. They shut down Saturday Night Live. Like they're not doing anything live. Like they just, Hollywood is shut down and it's great. And I still don't think it's going to do anything. No offense to any of them.
Sure. I mean, way to be optimistic.
I mean, I want to be, but it's the landscape is so different from 2007, right? Like the writers are scared of writers writing becoming a gig work thing,
right?
And I'm like, I think it's gonna have to be, because I just don't see how. I mean, I don't know what the expectation is, right? You're not a writer. I mean, you are writing, but you're not a writer in general. I'm not a writer, right? I wrote a book, but that's not a script. That's not like writing for TV shows or movies. I just,
I mean, there was that one time in high school, but that was back when was back when the peaking times of my life.
Yeah, and then you wrote in high school. I wrote for my movie theater and for us when we were doing our Palsy with Love.
Coming soon.
Radio play. Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. The whole thing has never been released. That whole audio that we did, all that work we put into it, never has been released. And it's a thing I wrote because I had Bell's palsy for like a few months. And I wanted to I don't know why I wanted to write this thing and get a bunch of podcasters together. But Josh is in it. Josh has a role in this.
I've got the best lines of the whole fucking show.
I'm good. I'm glad I'm glad you like your lines. I thought I gave you some pretty good lines. I thought.
Yeah. You also said like just be you.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't trying to. Yeah, I wasn't trying to turn any one of us who were doing it. I wasn't trying to make us into like Brad Pitts or anything. Like I'm just trying to get us. I just wanted a fun little thing to go out there that I thought was cute that people would enjoy. Maybe one day we should just release it. Maybe you can release it on the YouTube or something and just release the audio.
Yeah, because maybe if we do the audio part, we will inspire some young animator to want to animate.
To do it unpaid.
To do it unpaid and without a ton of recognition outside of like, yay.
Yeah, we'll give you a shout out and we'll put your name on the thing. That's just like the extent of it.
You know, we get picked up and turned into a show. Then maybe we could talk. But
hey, look, Josh, I hate to tell you, we could probably get AI to do the art for us.
Hang on.
No.
Hang on.
Oh no!
I forgot what button it is.
Points.
There it is.
Oh, sorry guys. Sorry artists. But yeah. So anyway, hey, you haven't seen the Mario Brothers movie, have you?
No, Francis, I haven't. Wink.
You even want
wink.
to?
Wait.
Oh, wait. Have you seen it?
Huh?
Whatever way you saw it, did you actually watch it?
No.
No.
Okay. For realsy.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw it.
Oh, you did see it?
No,
okay.
but I mean, I saw it on Twitter. Yes, I saw the Twitter that put it out.
But you didn't actually watch it. You didn't watch the whole thing.
I was prepared to.
Okay.
I was prepared to, and then I noticed it was a handy cam at a movie screen, and I went, you know what? I am not 20 years old anymore. My level for piracy is a lot higher now.
Yeah.
And
well,
even in my mid-20s, my level of piracy was a lot better because I secured it's fine. I secured Star Wars Episode 1 the weekend it came out on a super high quality digital version that was not a handy cam at a fucking screen. It was, I don't know. Look, you don't ask questions. When people hand you a videotape and they say, here's what you wanted, you're like, sweet, thanks.
Look, I was an Napster guy. I was a LimeWire guy. I mean, I'm not going to lie about the offenses I've done back in the day. I never download. It was only ever music. I think the only things I ever downloaded were stuff that I couldn't get through the BBC, like British stuff, like stuff that's like for some reason region locked to another country, which I think is stupid. Right? If you're gonna we live in a global world, right? Just let anyone watch it. So those are the only times I ever like. Fine, I guess I'm gonna have to find a way to get to watch a thing because it's only available in the UK.
I mean, didn't you ever buy like region free VCRs and DVD players?
But they weren't selling the DVDs, and they weren't selling the stuff in the United States.
You live in Los Angeles. What do you mean they're not selling the DVDs and Yes, they were.
Well, I mean, there was probably a suitcase somewhere out there with something. But like,
I would make a comment, but it would not come across correctly. So keep it to myself.
I'm just saying, like, there were some places just make it really hard for you to enjoy something that you're more than happy to pay for.
Totally.
And I was like, I'm more than happy to pay for this stuff. They just didn't want to give it to me. So I'm like, fine, I'll find a way to get it myself. So anyway, I was just curious if you watched it because it's not for everyone. It's not, it is a whole 100% nostalgia trip. And I've heard from already some people who are like, yeah, it wasn't that good. I'm like, if Mario meant nothing to you, yeah, it's not that good. But if Mario means a lot to you, it's really good. If Mario means something to you, it's
I'm
really
down.
good.
I'm totally down to see it. Totally and completely down to see it. If I were to go to the theater or not, I am down to see it. But my level of piracy is higher than a handycam. That's all I'm saying.
Oh well, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So when I saw the tweet, I was like, oh. This particular Twitter account has been pretty reliable when it said caption, fuck it, here's this. Yeah. It's always been a really good version. So let me just click ahead. And I could see that it was handy, if you will, handy cam footage. And I'm just, and not somebody holding it. It was on a tripod. But it was,
Who's okay? What movie theater are you going to where the staff, because staff now walk into theaters just to
It was
look,
probably
right?
the staff
And you walk into the
doing
theater.
it overnight. You were a projectionist, Francis. You stayed late nights.
I mean, that's true. But yeah, okay. No, okay. Yeah.
You had to screen movies before the public screened them or got to see them.
I'm curious if you have to. Well, yeah, I'm curious if you have to do that now because that was on film. When you had to check for film tears and burns and stuff, like you had to look for, you had to make sure all of the little circles in the top, that Fight Club showed you where they were. Those circles existed, and you had to look for them because those were the real changes. You had to make sure that they were there. And I'm like, okay, so I don't know, I don't know if you still have to do it nowadays. I mean, if you do, that's cool because then you get to see a movie before everyone else does, and that's nice. But
I mean, but who's to say
what you're
that?
Looking for.
Yeah, the theater, shows its last, public at 10 o'clock, but all the people that work there stay till fucking 1 to pirate movies.
I mean, sure. I mean, if it's worth their job, sure. Yeah, go for it. Because that's different. It's different when the staff does it. It's different when the people who work there do it because that's your job. If you're just a regular person,
and that's also
the worst they can do to you is kick you out.
Sure, and who's to say that it wasn't filmed in another country that happened to play the U.S. unsubtitled version? So I mean,
in all honesty, yeah, I'm just surprised that they don't steal it. I mean, it's a digital file and it's sent to theaters through the internet. I'm a little surprised people just don't steal it, find a way to steal it from the theaters themselves. I'm really shocked that hasn't been a thing.
Who's to say?
Not that I want it to be a thing. I don't want it to be a thing. I'm just surprised.
Right. But who's to say it doesn't happen?
That's true.
Oops. Yeah. I dropped the USB that's got the new fucking Tom and Jerry movie on it.
And screeners, right? Screeners go out all the time, but I guess there's little numbers and stuff and things that you could tell whether digital markers now.
I received screeners that were then pirated. I got a pirated version of a screener that said for Academy viewing only. So some Academy person or someone that works for the Academy, oops. It fell off the back of the truck and into the hands of somebody that makes copies.
I mean, look, that's why. I mean, I should just go and be an extra in a movie. I should find a way to get into SAG, just so I can get the screener, just so I can get an Academy screener. I just want to.
Do you remember that kid that was? And I can't tell you what his name is. I can't tell you the movies he was in because he was a background character in a shit ton of movies. But the one where he fucking, kind of lets himself known is in one of the Transformer movies. I think the second one. When Witwicky's trying to get a job, there's this kind of pudgy afro redheaded guy that is in the background of 100 different movies. But in that particular movie, he looks at the camera, stops, looks at the camera, and then moves on. But I don't know what his name. I don't know why we're fucking talking about this.
Well, no, because he was in Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 1.
He's in a bunch of movies.
Yeah.
But you need to be that guy. You need to be the version of that guy. You need to just find a way to be it. Just we need a guy that's Filipino. I gotcha. And then, people always think you're some sort of Asian, so maybe you could be an Asian or a Mexican or something. I don't know.
Or a Mexican, yeah. I get mistaken for Mexican all the time, so I could be Mexican.
So you could just be an extra in just tons of different movies, and you could just somehow leave a calling card in every single flick you're in.
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't be mad. We were talking about the best the what do you call it? The Pluto TV stuff.
We're into old
there's
shit.
There's an episode
too.
of we're into old shit too. And one of the old shit, one of the episodes of I Love Lucy, because she was so over top, they never put her on camera. She put her name on the bottom of her shoes because she was a corpse. She ended up playing a corpse getting like wheeled away from a crime scene, and because she never got to show her face, she just wrote her name on her shoes so that the camera would get her name as she was rolled out of the thing. So that's what I need, is like on me somewhere, like on a jacket or something, just the POI logo just on there.
Right.
And it's me walking away from the camera all the time. Like, you never see my face. You just see the gigantic POI graffiti logo as I walk
the
off
old
the sunset.
the old school graffiti logo.
The one that looks like pot instead of POI.
The one that got us uninvited from ever having a table at a certain Comic-Con ever again. Yeah. Well, it was never said. It was never told to us that way, but
no.
That,
I mean, but they never did invite you back.
Despite them always having the same other ones back, so I don't know what the deal was.
Yeah, you didn't kiss enough ass. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's not my style. It's not my style. I'm not. Sometimes I'm not very good with the filter thing. This whole episode's gonna be like protect kayfabe, and allegedly, but I was working at a place one time, and somebody walked up to me with an extension cord in their hands, and went, "How do I set this up?" And I stopped in my tracks, and I went, "It's an extension cord. You plug one end into the other, and then something into that." And I just kept walking, because if I had stopped, it was going to get rude. Like, what the fuck do you mean? How do you set this up? It's a fucking... Right. Have you never used an extension cord before? But in reality, what I think it was, can you do this for me?
Well, do what? Plug the thing into something and plug the other thing into the other thing? Like,
I mean, at the time, if you knew, you would know. Yeah. But
well, look,
I was dumbfounded. I was like, huh? Okay.
I mean, people don't. Not everyone knows things. Some people just don't know. Right. I mean, some people just don't know.
That is, I'm being an asshole. Mm-hmm. But it's an extension. It's an extension cord.
No. I mean, you're right. Look, I mean,
if it was like a fucking, a French press, and you'd only use the fucking drip coffee machine, the Mr. Coffee, and someone gave you a French press, I would understand. If someone if you were always used to like a right. Okay.
They've never had to put anything into anything. They don't understand the concept. They're like, I don't understand.
Sometimes, Francis, I wish the little red light wasn't on, so I can tell you things that as you say things, and I'm just like, oh, I need to tell them about that too. But the red light is on, and I can't.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at my list of things. Hey, this has got not well. Things are falling apart here. Speaking of falling apart, and we don't need to really touch on it because everybody's got a fucking opinion. But the SpaceX Starship thing launched last week, and
yeah, it was a big deal.
It was a huge. Win, lose, whatever with the ship, it's a big deal because that was the largest rocket the United States has ever launched, which is pretty amazing.
Right.
The people that watched it got to witness it. That was pretty awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the purpose of it was to launch, right? Its only purpose was to launch. It didn't have to do anything else. Right?
All he wanted to do was clear the tower. That was his only expectation,
right?
Or only hope was to clear. Everything else was icing on the cake. It was something like 40 seconds into the flight, engines started. Well, immediately there was 33 engines on that thing. As soon as it started launching, 3 of them were shut down. By like a minute into it, they had lost control of the ship completely. This is something they just figured out, let out a couple days ago. Something at like 42 seconds or something, they had lost complete control of the entire ship because of everything that was breaking, basically, as it was going. But the destruction to the launch pad, I mean, it blew up in a spectacular way. But the destruction to the launch pad area is massive. And like looking at, there's an entire concrete pad that is missing, and it ended up in the ocean. It ended up on NASA's camera vehicles. It ended up destroying hundreds of cameras. But it's still really cool. There was a launch recently of some other space company. I don't know who they were named. I should, because I'm getting ready to talk about them really quick. But they made a 3D printed rocket.
Oh yeah.
They didn't quite make it to space. I think they were close, but the aerodynamic forces of Earth said, no, fuck you. This isn't strong enough, and destroyed the rocket. But it's just anybody that's sending anything up into space that's not just space junk that's awesome.
So I guess the name of the company is Relativity Space. Is the name of the company that did the 3D printed rocket that launched a month ago. And look, with the SpaceX thing, I mean, look, you can hate Elon Musk all you want. That's fine.
I think that's what I was kind of trying to like steer around, kind of,
It's okay. I feel like we could talk about it just because, like, he's a figure that he's an unavoidable figure.
Sure.
Like, the dude's everywhere.
Yeah.
But that doesn't take away, like, I think the argument was, look what a failure it was. It wouldn't have happened if NASA did it or whatever, right? I'm like, people died when on NASA launches. Like, people have, like NASA has spent billions upon billions of dollars of failed rocket launches. I don't know why they think that's a gotcha, right? Like, This is progress. Like, this is, even though the thing blew up, no one died, and it's knowledge and information. Like, they learned something from the rocket launch so that it doesn't happen again the next time they do it.
Mm-hmm.
Hate the guy all you want, but I don't understand the hate on the progress. That's the part that bothers me, is like, why are you hating on progress? Just hate on the guy.
Exactly. Hate on the guy, but like, there's thousands of people that work for that company that are keeping America in space at that space station that everybody's so fascinated with.
Yeah.
So,
like, it's relevant. Like, this is stuff that we need to do because we want to build a space station on the moon or whatever, and like, we want to do all these things.
I mean, like, what's the end goal with going to space? I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? But it's cool.
Well, look,
I mean, I'll never go because it breaks one of my cardinal rules of, if you need to take your own air or atmosphere someplace with you, you don't belong there.
Right.
So that covers both.
But like, flying into space is all about knowledge. That's all space travel is right now, until we have the ability to travel between galaxies. Until we get that point, right now it's just learning. All we're doing this for is so that we're not stupid, that we learn and we grow as a species. Right? That's the whole point of space exploration. Because we're not going to get any. Go on.
No, go on.
Well, it's like, we're not going to go to, like, I mean, I know the idea is to populate Mars and all that stuff. But like, sure. But that's it. Like, we're just going to populate local planets because we're not traveling to, like, other galaxies with livable planets yet, with other potential species. We don't know that yet. So I don't know. It's crazy how we just.
Let me ask you a couple things, Francis. Let me ask you.
Yes, please.
Do you like Tang and your other powdered drink varieties that are out there?
You know what's funny is I haven't had Tang in a long time.
Okay, neither have I.
Like,
but
I think since the 90s.
Okay,
but the 90s, and then the last time I had Tang.
Your powdered energy drink, your natural energy drinks in the morning, or your Tang, or
sure.
whatever the fuck, right? You like that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean, no, but I mean, if I have to drink it, I'll drink it.
Just play along. You like that?
Yes, right? I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know how your shoes, how you attach your shoes with the Velcro every morning?
It's how I prefer it. Yeah. It's
right.
the only way to put your shoes on. Yeah.
Well, all that shit was developed in space.
True.
Or for space.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's two things. I'm sure there's a lot of other things. Those are the two I could pull.
Oh, there's a million things.
Those are the two that I could pull out of my ass right now.
Do you like your GPS to get you to where you want to go? Space. Do you like how you can talk to each other on cell phones? Space.
Yeah.
Sort of. I mean, they're doing satellite phones, right? They're doing internet from space, right? Like they're going to put internet in places that don't have internet.
Look at that, wrapping it back around. SpaceX just launched their Super Heavy, just the Sunday night as of recording, which had been super delayed, like a month or something like that. And they had to expend all 3 rockets to get this satellite up into geosynchronous orbit. And it's Viasat, it's a commercial for Viasat. Viasat is broadband internet via satellite.
Yep.
Kayfabe. I used to work with a company that was partnered with Viasat to give customers a discount, a bundled discount for things, TV. So it's cool to see that they have continued on, because the whole time I was going, oh, these motherfuckers aren't going to last at all. But one of my good friends works for that company, and, may or may not have dabbled a little bit on coding for said geosynchronous satellite.
So what's the statute of limitation for kayfabe? Like, how long does it take before you cannot? I mean, like, how long until you don't have to protect kayfabe?
Well, because I like the air of mystery.
Okay, well, that's different. It's like, you kayfabe a lot of things.
Well, just because, look, man, nobody needs to know too much about your past.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Or anything about you.
I'm way too giving. I'm way to just be like, here, this is what happened. This is where I used to work. This is all that stuff. Like, go for it.
I mean, it would be a hell of a lot more interesting if, like, the place I worked for, I did more than just, like, push data through a fucking computer all the time and just happen to have my, finger on the pulse of what was going on there, because I'm nosy and shit. But, like, yeah, it was just, happen to work for a TV provider, the national TV provider. That's it.
I got you.
Look, you got a 33rd and a third chance of fucking scoring the right one. So fucking roll a die and fucking,
I know. I just think it's funny. Throw
it in the chat, and I will not let you know if you're the winner. Yeah. I find it fun. I find your kayfabes fun. Well, some of them are because they happened possibly in the past week, and I just said kayfabe and just said one time, but it could have happened 2 days ago.
I mean, look, you're doing it the smart way. I'm the idiot that likes to just air my dirty laundry in front of everybody. So, which would be more interesting if I actually had dirty laundry to air. I actually don't, which is probably why I don't really say a lot of things.
And that's because you don't have a lot of our today's sponsor.
I know. Tide sticks. Pesky stain getting you down.
Damn it, Francis. We set shit up, and we never You know, it's always right there.
When we hit that fabled 2000, once we finally hit that 2000 mark.
Speaking of 2000,
like
Francis, I won't even kayfabe this. I was talking to the people that I work with, who are all, for the most part, I would say in their, if I was going to average age the 20-ish people that I work with, I would put the average age in the upper late 20s.
Okay.
Despite that,
I like the delay. I like that you're like the wheels are turning in your head on that one.
Yeah. Despite that, there are some that are just, 22, 23 years old.
Oh, sweet summer children. Yeah.
And people started talking about 99 into 2000.
Oh God. Well, that's when they were born.
Exactly. Which was first why my ears perked up, because like, why the fuck are any of you talking about? And I'm not being an asshole, but like, it's like when like 2000s kids, 2005 kids, like, let's throw a 90s party. What the hell do you know about the 90s? But anyway, there was 99 into 2000 talk, and I chimed in. I said, hey, there was retail companies and computer companies out there that were really telling people to back up all of their stuff before December 31st at midnight. And not only that, to turn their computers off before midnight on December 31st, 1999, because you don't know what might happen at the stroke of midnight. And people were freaked the fuck out and not realizing that the computers that humans built didn't think were smart enough to convert 99 into 00.
Right? It could. The only thing was that it went to 1900. It didn't go to 2000. That was the issue.
Patches went out, right?
Yeah.
And everything was fine. Pretty fucking quick.
Everyone's Windows 98 was being updated frantically.
Yes.
But because nobody wanted there was a Windows Millennial Edition that nobody wanted, Millennium Edition that nobody wanted, and people hated. So people with Windows 95, Windows 98 were like, okay, I guess we got to update our computers. But I can't believe you dated yourself by explaining Y2K to some kids.
What do you mean dating myself? Francis, have you ever looked at me? My fucking face dates myself. Okay.
No, we were talking about this earlier. We don't look our age anymore. Like, we look young still, right? Like, you wouldn't, yes, maybe have some white in your beard, but I feel like you wouldn't, like, if you were just tossed into the fray with no one knowing your age, I don't think people would be like, oh, you're, 45 or something. Like, they wouldn't just say it.
Ever since I was like 25, people, when I told them how old I was, they're like, what? No way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that. Or if I'm standing with I can't tell you the countless people that go, so what was it like growing up with Adam as your older brother? I just totally threw out my brother's name.
That's fine.
It's fine. And I'm like,
it's just a name.
Yeah. And I'm like,
yeah,
no, I'm the oldest brother.
Right. But I mean, look, you don't have that same, like, he has a look that makes him look older. Right. Well, you don't have that look.
Right. I mean, my brother carries himself totally differently than I do. I'm mature and super immature at the same time. Like,
you have a youthful exuberance.
That, sure. I think it depends on the situation and whatnot. But like, I'm very Pink Panther. I'm the Pink Panther of the family. You don't get that reference if you never watched a cartoon.
You solve crimes as Inspector Clouseau? Is that how you do it?
I mean, sometimes. Sometimes, I mean,
do you just sneak around with a theme song playing in the background while you sneak around?
Francis, you've seen that movie, I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker? No.
Which one?
I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker.
Oh, I'm getting I've never seen that
Yeah,
one.
all right. Well, there's a scene in that movie where a pimp gets let out of jail, and he'd been in jail for a long time. And times have changed. Maybe it was prison, but times have changed since he was in. And he walked out wearing the same clothes he went in as. It wasn't the 70s anymore. And he had platform shoes on that had goldfish, and there was like a fish tank in the bottom. You've seen the clip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing you've seen the clip.
Yeah.
Why did I bring... There's a reference to something, but I've lost it. It's been a long day.
It's all good.
But there was a point I was trying to get to, and I've lost it with reminiscing about platform.
It was about dating ourselves and being our age and not looking our age, and having a look. How your brother has a look and you don't have a look, and how you have.
Okay, that's it. That's it. In that movie, the pimp, he had a fucking band that played his theme song that walked behind him. I need one that plays the Harry Mancini song, the Pink Panther
song.
Yeah, I think it was Harry Mancini that wrote it. Because that's what I hear when I'm walking, because that's the speed in which I walk to everything, because I am not in a hurry to get anywhere.
You're leisurely.
Look, man, once you're late, you can't be more late.
You cannot show up, I guess. The next thing to being late is to just not show up. Yeah.
But there is no sense in running to anything. Once you're late, you're late. Just fucking you'll get there when you get there.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I like it. I like it.
I'm prompt most of the time, but I'm not in a hurry I mean, like, you know, if I'm someplace and a dude pulls out a gun or a knife or a billy club or a fucking rubber band gun, and all I can do is pull out of my pocket some lint, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to run. I might even cartoon run. I might even run in place for a moment before I take off. You never know. But most of the other times, nah, I'm going to Pink Panther myself. I'll get there. Like I said, I'm prompt, but I ain't in a hurry.
Good. I don't think you should be. I like a leisurely pace.
I mean, people say I walk fast, but I don't.
Right.
Every time that you and I have walked any place, I've been like, slow the fuck down. Of course, there's that one time you almost pissed yourself, but that was different.
Well, yeah. Yeah, well, look, we have different strides. That's true. We definitely have different strides, but
you know, and we have different levels of fucks as well, Francis. Because if how you described to me how badly you had to pee that night, if it was me, I would have pissed on somebody's tire, the fucking restaurant window. I mean, a bush, something like. I would not.
I'm a little more. Yeah.
I would not have done the pee-pee dance at a street light. I would not have said, "Stop talking to me. I'm gonna piss." Like
I know, because every action was like pushing my bladder.
I understand. And I understand,
yeah.
but like my level of being able to just go someplace on a corner and pee really fast, I have no problems doing. In fact, I did it just like a week ago. I got to a parking lot and I went, damn it, I'm early, and there's no place. It's everything's closed,
right?
So I can't walk into any place to use the bathroom. But I'm early for this thing I'm doing. Oh look, there's a dumpster over there for this automotive business that's not. It's closed, but they're still there. I'm going to find some trash to throw away that I don't need to throw away. Oh, look at some of that. Found some trash to throw away. While I'm back here.
That's all I mean, you might as well. You're there.
Right.
You know.
And what was funny is that the automotive guys went and for some reason were playing around in the dumpster area. And I was like, and you're playing around in the area I just took a piss in.
I mean, they got to play somewhere.
I guess. They probably went to go smoke a bowl or something. I don't know. You went and saw Jedi? Did you take advantage? Did I look for cameras? Ginger says no. And if I did, if there was cameras, they got to show. Did you take advantage of the 40th anniversary Jedi screenings?
Oh my God, 4th
at the theaters.
I wish it was the 4th. Then it would be 1987. It was the 4th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. It'd be 1987, and just be a wee 7-year-old still hanging out and being a little kid. That'd be great.
You know what would be really cool though, if we knew that was going to happen, right? There was going to be some sort of like thing that was going to happen, and we were just going to be transported back to 1987, just in time for the anniversary of Jedi. If you could take today's your paycheck today, put it in your pocket, and then get teleported back to 1987 in your fucking Oshkosh Bagosh overalls or whatever the fuck you were wearing in 87.
It was probably Oshkosh, but you're probably right. It was probably Oshkosh Bagosh, yeah.
And you're like, hey, you're 7 years old or whatever. I'm gonna go to the store and get me a Transformer.
Well, so somebody posted on Twitter the Kmart commercial for the Super Nintendo when it went on sale, and it was $197 for the Super Nintendo, and somebody did the math and said it was $500 in 2023 dollars, right? So like, I would buy. I mean, my money would go so far. Like, my money would go so far in 1987. Like, my money would just go the farthest.
You'd be the richest little kid in Oshkosh Bagosh ever.
I mean, well, here's the thing. If I went into the past with my paycheck and the knowledge I have now, the whole check would go into Apple stock.
Well, okay, look. It's not.
If I knew what I knew now,
sure, but that's not the exercise, Dad, Francis. That's not the exercise.
Dad, can you put this in a? Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, I would buy all the. No, I used to buy baseball cards, and even though I never watched baseball, I had no interest in baseball, but it was the thing to do. Was buy baseball cards and chew the terrible gum,
Bazooka Joe,
the cardboard gum. It was. I don't remember if it was just. There were other like really bad pink. Hubba Bubba was the other one. It was Hubba Bubba.
Okay.
But and then they would have like the little cardboard airplanes with the little propeller, right? And had like a rubber band. So the rubber band would make the propeller spin a little bit, and you can fly the little cardboard airplane about like 2 inches before it fell to the ground.
Right.
It even had like rudders and everything that you can manipulate. It was really great. But that's what I would buy, and then I would buy an ice cream. I'd probably buy like an ice cream every day until I ran out of money, because I had the money I would have the money for it.
Sure.
Every day I'd have a new ice cream on my hand.
I wouldn't have to go to the 7-Eleven and get what we called the suicide, which was every soda, a little bit of every soda in your big gulp.
Now we called it the zombie here.
Okay, well, I guess it depends on your hood, Francis.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm just saying, like, it's so funny how we have different names for it.
But yeah, I could afford to go get me a fountain Sprite one day. I can afford to go get a fountain Tib, and get it as just one flavor instead of trying to mix all of them.
When a large at 7-Eleven was like 32 ounces versus the large now is like 64, I think.
Something like that. I couldn't tell you the last time I got a fountain soda at the 7-Eleven.
I haven't gotten a fountain soda in a long time either, but I do remember seeing gigantic cups.
I mean, they used to have.
We love our soda.
The super big gulp.
That's the one.
And I don't remember
44.
I don't remember what the ounce count was on it.
It was like 44 ounces.
That sounds probably right. Speaking of which, you mentioned before, it's, I think before we hit record, but it's already May. The year's just going, but the 7-Eleven day will be here before we know it, and you will be able to get a free Slurpee.
A free, like, they keep shrinking the free. I remember when the free Slurpees was like an actual small Slurpee, and now they're just like these little, like, stupid little, shot cups of Slurpee.
Look, that's all the Slurpee you really need, though. I mean, all the sugar that's in those things. I mean, like, for realsy, you don't really need that much, but come on. It's
for realsy.
The shit just sits there and spins and spins and spins endlessly. Just give it up. Give the free Slurpees.
My favorite thing was making at the movie theater. Was making the combo Slurpees of blue raspberry and cherry. Just
why
combining the two together.
Why is raspberry blue?
I think just so that it doesn't. Is
raspberry not a red berry?
Yeah, but then you go like, can I have a cherry? And they're like, well, they're both red, so you don't know which one's cherry. I mean, you can tell by the name, but then when you have it in the cup, you're like, did I get cherry? Did I get raspberry? I can't remember. Oh, it tastes like sugar. I guess I got one of them. Like you're not gonna know. So that's why they made it blue. So it's like, it's just very odd that blue raspberry.
Blue became the fucking color for raspberry when it's fucking red or pink. Or whatever.
Because you have a red. Well, you have red cherry and you have red strawberry.
Can't you?
And you have red watermelon. You have 3 red flavors already. You need some color. I mean, a little color.
Okay. I had an argument, but then you just fucking you shot it out of the water there. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, you fucked me up on that one.
I don't know. That's just my guess. I have no idea because you're right. Blue raspberry does not exist in the world. Like and if it's a blue raspberry, it's probably a blackberry.
Like,
I guess.
That's confusing. So there's a blackberry variation, apparently, that's called a Marionberry.
Isn't that the lady from, like, the Great British Bake Off or something?
I don't know, but it's also the name of a fucking former mayor of Chicago, I believe it was.
Oh, that's it, too. You're right.
Who got busted with a prosty smoking crack. Not the prosty smoking crack. The mayor was smoking crack with a prosty. Actually, speaking of Chicago, this just happened the other day, and it had varying degrees of sorrow from the people that I'm around all the time. But what's his face? Jerry Springer died.
Oh yeah, Jerry Springer died. That's sad.
See, and you're in the same camp I was, where I was like, oh,
yeah. Well, he was a staple of our youth.
Exactly. So that same TV company that I used to work for, I worked for him a couple times, and a few times technically, I guess. But one of the times I did quality control for their receivers. And we had to test them. And part of testing them meant watching TV. So my job was to watch TV, which was pretty cool. And one of the channels that we always just tuned to because it was on was Jerry Springer, whatever channel it was on. And, you're sick home from school, there's Jerry Springer. You call in sick from work, there was Jerry Springer. The show ahead of its time, if you think about it, the early days, where that's for a long time that's what all shows became.
Yeah,
even to the point where what was that show? Cheaters. Remember that episode where the host got stabbed on a boat and shit?
Stabbed. Yeah, he got stabbed by
hilarious, by the way.
Yeah,
but like all of that. I don't think, those type of shows and all that kind of drama wouldn't have happened if Jerry wasn't like, you know what? Let's hire a bunch of people. There may have been some actual, in the early days, some actual storylines. You know, that some of the people that were on his show were, you know, that was actual conflicts. But then, you know, then he just started. It just went overboard after that. But it was still fun. It was fun as hell to watch. To the point where his fucking main security guard has his own damn show.
Yeah, Wilco, I think.
Steve Wilco.
Steve Wilco. Yeah.
Why do I know that guy's name?
Well, apparently he's been on the air for like 20 years. So I mean, you know,
right.
the Steve Wilco guy's been on the air forever, as you know, not as long as Jerry Springer, but like
just about. You know, I mean, he was on that show forever.
Yeah,
and, you know, not as a, you know, he didn't like give the cool speech at the end of the show, but you know, once they gave him a name. You know, then he became part of the chants. And that was the other thing, is that like I think most of the people that went to a Jerry Springer show were wrestling fans. Because if you would watch a Jerry Springer show, somebody would say something stupid or something kind of that trying to be a dig or a diss at somebody, and the crowd would chant whatever that was, you know. Right. Or you're a loser, or what?
Oh, no, they would chant Jerry. Yeah,
well, they would chant Jerry, but then if you and I were having an argument and I said something stupid that was just stupid, the crowd would start to chant it as well. It was total wrestling mentality, wrestling crowd mentality.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I love that show. It was fun as hell to watch, and then it's just weird the weird. I don't know, almost dichotomy at the end where it'd be all calm and, you know, all after all, maybe even in the background, you would see the set all destroyed and there'd be Jerry sitting there talking about at the end of the show, be kind to everybody.
Final thoughts.
Yeah. The final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
And end it with, you know, be kind or something to the effect of that. Be kind to everybody or something.
He knew what he had. And Ginger's right. Springer is the granddaddy of trash TV, along with Oprah. Oprah used to be trash TV too, if people remember. She used to be just as trashy as Springer was, and then she became like a guru. But like all of those morning shows, or all of those kind of midday shows were. And I kind of hate that we've gone to the point now where we're just like, okay, I'm gonna sound like an old fart now. I apologize, everybody. But like the younger generation just being perfectly fine, being happy when people die, like just bothers me to no end nowadays, that are just like, oh good, we're glad that people die. Like, he didn't kill anybody. This was obviously entertainment. Like, you guys gotta relax. You know, like people have gotta relax. I don't understand why it's just like, no, well, and it boggles my mind. Like, but I mean, we live in a world of just like, let's hate everything, everyone all the time, just because it's fun. Like, you know, I feel like I'm not meant for the internet because I don't hate enough. Like, I really don't hate anything as much as what most people online hate. Like, I don't hate enough of anything at all. Like, I just don't. And
I don't have that kind of energy.
Exactly. I'm like, I got other things to do.
Like. You know what happens when I don't like something? I turn it off.
I go to somewhere else.
I say I'm watching a show. Someone's like, "Oh man, you gotta check this out," and I watch it for 5 or 10 minutes. I'm like, "Yeah, this isn't gonna do it for me." Yeah. Or I watch half a season. No, not gonna do it for me. You know, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, and you just turn it off if you don't like it.
Yeah.
You know
instead of ruining it for everyone who does, right? Like,
right.
That's the other thing I hate is like we're now live in a world where it's okay to destroy a property that's not hurting anybody. It just exists. I'm not talking about anyone controversial. I'm just talking about TV shows or movies or something. That great. I don't like it. Therefore, no one else can like it. No one else should have it. Therefore, I need to destroy it. Like, that's the mentality people have instead of like, I don't like it. I'm not going to watch it. It's more of, I don't like it. No one should be able to watch this.
Right.
Like, some people like it. Let them have the things that they like. Why do we have to hate everything so much all the time, always? Anyway.
Right.
Speaking of which, real quick.
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi. It was the special edition, all of the stuff that Lucas added in. It was really weird. A lot of CGI. Still good. Someone fell asleep. They snored during a scene. It was really funny. It was during the. It was during the scene where Vader says, "Oh, you have a." It was either you have a sister or I have a. I think it's you have a sister, right? Right.
Yeah.
When he realizes that. Yeah. So he says this, and right when that happens, some of the audience gasped, but one person snored. Like the moment it happened, it was like perfect timing. And he's like, "Oh no!" He out loud said, "Oh, sorry," like out loud because I think he woke himself up with a snore.
That's hilarious.
But I miss the Yub Nub song. I miss. I think the ending is really silly when they go to all the different planets celebrating because I'm like, how do they know?
This was your first time seeing the special edition.
I've never seen special. I've only seen the OG version because my family owned the VHS of the original trilogy.
The theatrical.
The theatrical version.
Yeah, original.
So that's the only time I've ever watched it was with the Yub Nub, without the weird Sarlacc, like the CGI Sarlacc coming out of the pit. Like there wasn't any of that. Vader didn't say no when he throws the Emperor. Things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I own the original theatrical versions, but they're on a format in which I need to figure out how to hook up to a TV and then figure out how to digitize.
Converters are still existing for a lot of older tech. So
I need to look at that because that would be awesome to. I mean, it's a mono version. It's a really rare video format that I have this in, and I think in a box somewhere, I have the original theatrical VHS, which I know you can get a converter for sure for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, someone needs to get it. Someone needs to digitize the OG version because man, you can't find it anywhere.
That is definitely something I would pay for. If that was an option.
Same.
I would totally do it.
Disney refuses to listen to the fans and just put out an OG version.
They put out the OG version of Muppet Christmas Carol. They made it impossible to find, but it's there.
Oh. Okay.
If you go,
I didn't even know there was a different version.
They took out a song that Ebenezer Scrooge sings that gives a little bit more meat to his character in that movie. Because at the end of the song, he talks about finding love.
Oh,
is one of the closing songs, but it just kind of doesn't make any sense because he's not really talking about that through the whole movie. But there was a song that was cut from. It's in a couple of VHS versions, and then it was just mysteriously gone. I think at one point, or was it on Novi? I don't remember the folklore. I've seen. I remember seeing the scene at some point, but Disney put it back in for this last Christmas season. But
good. Okay.
If you go to that listing on Disney Plus, they will show you the version that's been being played for the last 20 years. You have to go into the extras and search for it, or it's in one of the sub menus, and then you can find the actual original theatrical version with the Ebenezer song about losing love.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's good.
Yeah. So they should do that for Star Wars. They really should. Just make it an extra option. Make it hard as fuck to find. I don't care. Yeah. But they should put it out.
Yeah.
It's a superior version anyway. I think that's it. Oh, hey, I'm going to Guardians tomorrow as of recording. Couple days early. Thanks, Nerds at Geek. Yeah, little presser screening as they call it. It's weird because this place, the theater, I don't think usually sells beer, but there's always people with beer at these things. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it does sell beer. I don't know. Theaters have changed. But I'm excited to go see it. I've stayed away from, I don't even know what's supposed to happen. I don't know who's in it. I know nothing. So it's going to be fun to just go in there blind. The last time we saw him was in the last Thor movie for like 10 seconds.
Yes.
So we'll see what's going on. So there'll be more to report on next week for sure. But I think that's everything. Francis, tired. I'm sunburnt.
I know you went extra long today,
and I got to go to bed. And we gave you some extra juice. So there you go, Francis.
Some extra taco for your Taco Tuesday.
There you go. Where can the people find you on the internets?
Just one place. Look, the only important website to go to right now is books2read.com/Tales of Monstrosity. Go buy the book that I wrote in. I have a short story in there called The Greatest of All Time. Go check it out. It's a fun read, I think. People seem to like it. So go buy the book, please.
Go buy it. Read it.
And yeah.
Give us a review.
Let me know what you think. Yeah, I want to know what you guys think.
It would be cool. I had nothing to do with it. All I had to do with it was critiquing the extra long title. That's the only thing I had to do with it. And nobody asked me. So I'm not a writer. I'm barely a podcaster. But yeah, go there. You can also find him at AKA the other guy on the social medias. You can find me at 303_ninja on the Twitters, 303ninja on the Instagram. Look up POI Podcast for everything POI. We are everywhere. We're places we haven't been yet. We're in your backyard. We're in your ear holes right now. You can email us at thepoipodcast@gmail.com. Call us, voicemail, text at 314-764-7631. It spells out POI Pod 1. Somebody did call us last week a couple times, and I could not get the thing to connect to the receiver, to the mixer. So I believe it was Anthony that called. So I apologize. We'll get you next time. Otherwise, we will be back here for another hour-ish or so of entertainment-ish. Next Tuesday, same place, same-ish time, same people at least. We'll be back next time. Bye.